Why cat food?
That's good, man. That's a good question. I think the cat food idea came from Terry, who's the other writer on it, and because the name for the aliens in the movie is prawns, like the derogatory name for them. She said that every time she used to go prawning, they used to use cat food to bait the prawns. So that's where it came from. And I knew that I wanted something that they were addicted to that was a very common Earth-based thing. So, but yeah, hilarious question.
Okay, well, I know Peter talked about this a little bit last night, but how does this film reflect your own experience with South Africa growing up as a kid there? I mean, he said you took your own experiences and then put a sci-fi spin on it.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent. There's no question that the film exists only because I wanted to see science fiction in the city that I grew up in. And the city I grew up in has a lot of issues, and a lot of areas of it are seriously impoverished. And although that's really, a very serious topic, it doesn't mean that science fiction can't take place there. So I wanted to see sci-fi in Johannesburg, and I grew up there, and yeah, so I hadn't seen it before.
And what's amazing about it, it's not preachy at all, and you kind of work the subtle metaphors into this story. I'm wondering, how were you able to do that in scripting the film?
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not preachy, but that was the goal. Yeah, that was the goal. I mean, the goal was to have a very complex, rich, like racially charged background for the film, which is what Johannesburg and South Africa is, and segregation and everything else, and then have this veneer of science fiction on the front of it. And I think that I knew that if I just stayed true to that the background to it is very dense and political, but the foreground we're just skimming the surface of. I knew that it wouldn't be too preachy, and it could then become more of a ride and hopefully a compelling story.
And now, with the look of the creatures, did you look to The Fly with Jeff Goldblum? That's what I heard, that you kind of took some of the aspects and like the nail biting and the look of the creatures.
No. Who said that? I'll kill him. Well, he's always lying. Yeah, no. It definitely, there was definitely no one film for sure. That's the first time I've heard that actually. But what is true is that all of those types of genre films are floating around in my head. And I knew that I wanted to put all of those condensed into one thing as a little nugget of sort of Western science fiction and drop them into South Africa. So I think you could probably find, you could find all of the great classics like that. There's little hints to all of them really.
Standing here right now, are you aware that you've created probably the best movie of the year and probably the best genre film of the year? Or is this something that's not seeped into your brain yet?
That definitely hasn't seeped in. No, that hasn't seeped in. If it's true, then thank you.
I got to tell you it's true, and the praise across the board has been crazy because everybody's saying this is like the first time we felt like this was real little kids seeing this movie.
Yeah.
And you haven't heard any of this praise yet?
Well, no, you got to remember the first screening was last night, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and today's just been this Comic-Con insanity. So, but I'm thrilled, man. It's a big deal to work for 2 years and then have it pay off. So.
Okay, my last question, obviously, is this movie is certainly open-ended to sequels. What are your plans with that? Because I was almost disappointed when the movie ended last night because I was like, what? I need more of it.
I want to see more. Yeah, well, there's no question that if it's successful, and the sort of the politics of Hollywood allow for it, then I would gladly go back to the world of District 9 in a heartbeat, because it just is so personally rewarding to me on a creative level. I'd go there in a second.
And we can say he's coming back.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think so. I'll have to, yeah.
It's hard to talk about because I can't give anything away.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I just caught myself.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate it.